Hey there, I'm Julie, Fei-Fan Balzer, and I'm a painter, a printmaker, and a collage artist. And I have a wonderful community and online classroom at www.myartpractice.com, and it is dedicated to helping you with your art practice. Now, this art practice site works in cycles, and each cycle we have a theme. So the theme right now is iteration. And so I want to take you through my sketchbook or my studio notebook, whatever you want to call it, and some work that I've been doing, including some of the work behind me, and talk about how I start with one idea and it keeps on rolling. It's like a rock going down a hill gathering moss or something like that. So let's take a peek. So here in my sketchbook, I'm trying to draw a couple pictures of this painting. And as I'm working through this, I'm thinking a lot about what's interesting to me. It's not necessarily getting an exact representation of the painting, but I started to find some of these shapes. And these shapes are where my iteration began. So the first thing that I did is I wanted to think about how to convert a square into something that was more of a rectangle, and then figure out how everything worked and got put together. And I made this really simple monotype collage. And, of course, I made myself some notes about it, et cetera, and I thought about what I liked. And then I decided to make a slight shift. And this is just slightly less realistic, more towards a piece of abstract art. And then this is a further step into something that's even more abstract. These values and colors are very close. So even though this shape is still here, this kind of disappears. And then I thought, what if I just take the shapes out, and I'm not judging anything here as a success or a failure. I'm thinking more of it in terms of what do I like, what do I don't, what can I take with me? And again, it then became morphed into this where the shapes are kind of lost, like what's foreground, what's background, what's in, behind, what's in front. And there's a lot of stuff that started to get interesting. I brought in some sort of nature shapes here. You can see that sort of leaf there. And then again, I started to break it down. For me, that's always going to be lists. And I started thinking about, what it might look like in variations. I made some larger pieces, which this is a photograph. And I took some more photographs in process of them to try to think about how they are. And now I'll show you the finished pieces. Okay, so this one is here on my floor. But you can see, right, it's these same sort of shapes that were interesting to me. The idea of the low and the high contrast. There's lots and lots of interesting detailing and patterns, et cetera, here. And then up on the wall over here, I have another one that I finished. This one is already bagged. I have an art show coming up, and this is one of the pieces I'm going to sell. But you can see, again, like these sort of cloud shapes. It doesn't look like a landscape anymore. It's become my own unique thing, right? But it's still based on those same ideas. And then I have one more in progress. So come with me through my very messy studio. Okay, so here is one that's in progress. You can see I've just taped on some pieces to kind of think about how it looks all together. So I'm still trying to work through this idea. I'm still iterating. I'm still basically doing something and then looking at it and saying, what do I like? What do I not like? And then jumping into the next thing, keeping that in mind. So like if I looked at this and I was like, gosh, I really don't like the colors, then the next thing that I would do is I would make one that had different colors. Or if I thought, gosh, I love these like little lines in this one. So then the next one I made, I'd be like, let me make sure I put some little lines into this. So it's not that I'm pre-planning everything. I don't have like a graph and a chart and like all sorts of stuff out. Instead, it's that I'm working thoughtfully. I'm making sure that I'm making better art each time, that I'm getting better as I go. And I start with small, what I call like collage sketches or monoprint sketches, small pieces working through an idea. And then I build up into pieces that get bigger, and my ideas get bigger, and my thoughts get bigger. I mean, actually, this is an iteration too of what's happening here. I'm thinking again of these shapes that are moving through kind of a field that they're separate from. And so I hope that you will try iteration. You can learn all about it at www.myartpractice.com. That's my monthly membership site. It's a wonderful community. And if you're interested in getting better as an artist, if you're interested in getting better at art, if you're interested in learning more about art history, about yourself, if you're interested in finding your style, of ending frustration, of not just making things aimlessly, but making things with purpose, then my art practice might be for you. So I hope you'll check that out. Again, that's www.myartpractice.com.